Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the first Braver show with Jan and Erin.
Technically, this isn't our first episode, but we're not counting our intro as episode 1. We'll call that episode 0. So that we're getting going today.
Yeah, it's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's a little nerve-wracking, but you know what? Me and this girl here, we're talking all the time, so this isn't any more than us just really sharing a conversation on camera.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about what we're talking about today because we're talking about braver questions and
why they're important.
Yeah.
They have literally changed, I think, the trajectory of so many of our business decisions and big life decisions. And we want to help you do the same. But first off, Mom, how you doing?
I'm good. You know what? It's beautiful out. It's summer here in northeast of Calgary, and it's just a gorgeous day. I can hear the birds outside, the chickens laying eggs.
We just heard Beatrice, our pig. She lay down and got stuck in a little divot, so she was kind of crying. We had to go roll her over.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? In our first episode, we didn't explain. We live in the country, and so we're coming to you from our gorgeous home studio. We've got a whole studio here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see our little background, our set. But we can see the prairies to the east of us, and we can see the Rocky Mountains to the west of us. And we all live together. Did you know that? As a mother and daughter, and together with my partner, Jean, and our 8-year-old Luca. So
does that sound weird to you?
Multi-generational family. No, it's like going back old school.
I know.
We're so lucky.
And we're really fortunate in the house that we have is that our lower level here is a walkout. So my bedroom is just off to the left there, but we've got this whole big, beautiful studio, a seating area, and all of our things. And so it's really just a perfect place to be, to create, to talk, to argue sometimes, all the things that you do in business together. So we're really happy about that.
Yeah. Ask me how I'm doing.
Oh, how are you doing, Erin?
I'm doing great. Doing great. We, Jean and Luke and I, just a quick little story before we dive in. We got back from camping Sunday. Today's Tuesday. Yes, today's Tuesday. Sunday. And while we were camping on our phones, we got a red warning for a tornado in our mobile area. And I kind of had this, not panic, but just my gut was screaming, like, just get out of the campground. I was just thinking, being in a campground during a tornado would absolutely be the worst place. A trailer cannot stand a chance up to a tornado. You can't see anything coming. The trees are so tall. We could just see the very tops of the sky. Anyways, we hopped in the truck and came into the town where they were saying it could be accumulating. And we watched the sky for about 45 minutes, and it was so daunting. It was this huge just swell of dark clouds, and we could see a couple funnels starting to form halfway, and then they would dissipate. Funnels form halfway and then dissipate. So about 45 minutes later, we thought, okay, I think we're good to go back to the campground. I don't think anything's going to happen. On our way back to the campground, golf ball size hail starts coming down, and we look over to the lake, and these huge splashes of water from the impact of the huge hail on the water. So we immediately turn around. Jean had to step on it because we obviously didn't want any damage to the truck. And so we turned around, and just as we're going through Rocky Mountain House, the town that we were sitting watching the storms, just as we were on the very south side getting out of town, a tornado had formed. And so the tornado touched the ground about 300 feet from where we were. And Jean couldn't see that it had formed because of that front bar, on the sides of the windshield of a vehicle. And we're sitting at a red light, and Luca and I were screaming at him, like, run the red, we have to go, like, step on it. And so we ran the red light. It was safe to do so. But I've got film of this tornado coming through the bushes about 300 feet away. And at the end of it, we were teasing Jean because Luke and I were obviously scared. I mean, we love a good storm. Right? Like
I always thought it'd be fun to chase tornadoes. Erin's trying to convince me it would not be.
And I like the energy and the electricity of a storm, like, for sure. I love that. However, after this experience, I'm rethinking my love for that thrill because it was actually quite scary. Jean said that he could feel the truck being pulled. And what shocked me was the amount of strength a tornado has, you know, on the outside circumference of what it's affecting, because the wind picked up so quickly, leaves were flying, debris was flying, and we had to get out of there. So I just wanted to share that story. That was an experience of a lifetime, and I told Luca, like, that will probably never happen in your life ever again.
Most likely.
He couldn't obviously wait to tell his friends the story, but that was, so it's like one of those things that sticks with you, and it's sticking with me for a couple days, and life will move on. But it was just an experience that I never could have guessed.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. So we're really excited to get into what we're talking about today. So we just want to tell you that we're going to shape the Braver Show in this particular way, and that we're going to have a topic, which today we're talking about why braver questions, why it's important. The second part is we've chosen a question. We picked it yesterday. Haven't really discussed it yet, but we're going to do that on air. And we just really want to show you the power of going in depth and looking at it. And we think that once you hear how that can affect you, you're going to want to know what other questions are coming up, because you're literally going to see how life-changing it is to look at yourself and your life just from a different perspective. And I think what we're going to tell you today is going to be a different perspective for you regarding questions.
Yes.
I absolutely believe that.
I think you're going to love the format. So like Mom said, we're going to be having a conversation. You know, we're big on a growth mindset. And so we want conversations to offer you new insight of how you can look at your own life. And then at the end of every episode, you're going to walk away with one braver question. And whether that's something that you're just ruminating with yourself, that you take to a blank notebook, or that you take in conversation with your best friend, maybe
or
your
you
partner.
Just ponder it and let that seep in and let an answer emerge from you, because that's the other thing that could happen that would be really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because once you identify what you're feeling, whether it's a negative emotion, feeling stuck, restless, angry, frustrated, there's always a braver question that you can ask yourself to move out of that.
Yeah.
And it's always an indication that there's something you're not acknowledging in yourself, and a question can help you figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
So first, the context. Why braver questions, and why is that like first nature for you? And why has it, you've basically raised Jesse and I, my brother,
so
with that context.
I'll tell the little backstory. So I'm a certified life skills coach. Got my certification back in 1990. So we're talking a long time ago. And questions were the foundation for my life skills training. We needed to learn how to ask them in a way that a client could hear them. And when I say when somebody can hear them, you're going to get a different response from somebody if you ask, why did you do that? As opposed to, what happened here? And so I remember one time in my training, we were given the exercise to come up with 100 ways to ask someone, how are you? And like, we were in small groups doing this, and I thought, this is crazy.
There's no way.
But we did it. And we did it without asking any why questions in there at all. So I know that, first of all, that our brain can get very awake and curious about it. But I also know, by looking at the change in body language, physiology, tone of voice, all of it, how people respond to a question that is asked well. So I was really fortunate. That was in my first year of being a single parent. And of course, I brought that home to my life, and I brought that home to my kids. And at first, my kids are like, oh my God, you're going to ask me a question again.
Another question.
But it became ingrained in how we lived, and it became ingrained in how I parented. It became ingrained how both Jesse and Erin saw themselves and their lives, and I think it really changed the trajectory
Oh.
of where you were going. Like, can you?
Absolutely, because you taught us such a deep level of self-awareness at a young age, to not only observe the world and not only observe our place in the world, but observe and learn how to make sense of what was happening and what to do if we wanted a different outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So questions have been with me for like over 30 years. And I just think that they are the key to change. They're the key to meaningful living. They're the key to
Unlocking our inner wisdom.
yeah, understanding ourselves too. So that's why questions, we're calling them braver questions, are part of our package of what we're wanting to share with people and with ourselves. So here's the thing. We're always asking ourselves questions. Don't think that you don't. Every day, constantly we're asking questions. Some of them may not be very empowering for you. If you've been in a stuck place in your life for a while, it's likely that you're asking yourself some questions that really aren't very empowering.
Yeah, and the quality of a question can change what we're actually noticing in our life.
Yeah, it's like that reticular activating system. If you've got your eye on white cars, you're going to buy a white car. That's all you notice on the road is white cars, because we tune in to the things that we're most aware of and activated. So,
and a braver question should invite more curiosity, honesty, and possibility into your life. And also, a braver question doesn't necessarily always have an immediate answer. They can be big questions that take some time to ruminate over to get the true answer from within you.
Yeah, and it's going to elicit some honesty, some curiosity, and maybe some possibility thinking that you hadn't been aware of before. And I think that's one of the really important things about it, is it gets us out of our normal way of thinking. I think that's one of the most powerful things that a really good question does.
Yes, because there's been many times in our 25 plus years in business together where we're experiencing the same damn pattern or the same damn problem. And one of the worst questions that we could be asking ourselves in those moments is why? Why are we repeating this pattern? So we're going to go through what a disempowering question feels like, and then what the opposite, what does an empowering, braver question look like? Because
Absolutely.
the difference is huge, and and you'll hear it. You're going to you're going to get it. It's going to click for you.
Yeah. So just a couple of questions that do keep us stuck, and I'll just roll them off quickly. Is what is wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? Why am I so far behind? What should I be doing? What will everyone else think? Why can't I just be grateful? Like, these are typical questions we could ask ourselves, but they don't move us into a different place to experience something new. And that's what we really want, is to experience something new, because, there's that saying that you can't solve a problem from the same mindset that created it. And these questions keep you in a mindset, so they can be like judgmental.
Yeah, they can assume that there's something wrong with us, and they can also keep us searching for proof of failure. That's huge.
We use that a lot. Used to use that a lot, and we could come up with every situation under the sun that showed that we were failures.
Yeah,
and it became a pattern and a way of thinking, and we lost track of how to look for the positives and what's the growth here, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So,
and a disempowering question can also just make you feel more stuck. You can feel shame, and you can also feel more fear from the wrong kind of question.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to my life skills training again too. It was kind of like drilled into us. Do not ask people why questions. Now, I know out in the world there's people say, like, what's your why for your life? And that's a different kind of thing. What I'm talking about is, like, why did you do that? Why? And here's the thing with why questions. So I'm going to give you the answer to that. is a why question generally moves us into a place of judgment, explanation, coming up with a reason for, like we're going to justify it, but it doesn't move us out of whatever the situation is. And I just want to quickly read something from one of my trainers. Like, this is way back in the day, but just to understand that,
because it's so precise, this languaging, and
Yeah.
words are important. So
we want you to get that.
Yeah.
So understanding alone, like understanding why you've done something or experienced something alone, is not movement. It's just understanding. And so a why question often asks, like, can I explain this? Can I explain the situation? But a more empowering question says, what can I notice, choose, or try now? And a why question doesn't take you there. So that does not mean that the past is irrelevant. It means that we do not have to fully explain our past before we are allowed to take a step forward. And I think that's a very freeing thing, because a lot of us think that we've got to figure out why something went sideways or whatever it is before we can move and take new actions forward. It's not true. It is not true. So here's the thing. The goal is not to avoid the truth. It is to ask a question that helps us see the truth more clearly without turning ourselves into the problem. Like,
that's huge. Can you read that again?
Yeah. The goal is not to avoid the truth. It is to ask a question that helps us to see the truth more clearly without turning ourselves into the problem, without saying, I'm lazy, I'm this, I'm that.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah, I don't value myself. Like, all those things lead us into stuckness. So, because here's the thing, the best questions, I just find this so powerful, do not shame us into the answer. And there's enough shame in the world, doubled over, for any of us to just feel deflated. So we've got to find a way to get out of feeling bad about ourselves. And a good, honest question creates room for a really solid answer to emerge, something that's empowering to you. So the quality of the question is often shaped by the quality and kindness the quality of the answer is shaped by the quality and kindness of the question. And so we're going to show you through the Braver Road that we're not here to like nail you to the wall. This is what you did, and oh my gosh. No, we're gonna show you another way into yourself, into your truth, into your true answers from that quiet, intelligent part of you that knows who you are, what you're about, and what you're in this life to do and accomplish. And it's not going to be gut-wrenching for you. I often would like to say gentler, and I think we can say that we're going to show you a gentler way to be yourself, face yourself.
Yeah, because we don't know a world where we're not asking ourselves questions to know ourselves better so that we can grow into our biggest potential. We don't know what a world looks like without that. We have always been that way. You've raised me that way, and like you started your own, you can call it your self-development journey in early 20s, right? Probably triggered by a divorce.
Yeah, well, the divorce came at 30, but I was
30.
on that path in my late 20s, looking at how can I live out just my best life. Like, I think Joseph Campbell kind of planted that seed with me in like living from your bliss. But anyways, I won't go down that trail because we're going to do a whole episode on that. But
what's exciting about Braver Questions is that so often, we can read self-help books, go to the conferences, listen to the podcasts, and when it's somebody else's information that we're taking and distilling and trying to apply it to our own life and our own self-awareness, sometimes we can have a little niggling doubt to say, can I do this? Do I have what it takes to, get to the peace or the level of fulfillment that I see other people having. And with a braver question, you are guaranteed that if you just give yourself the space and the stillness to listen, that you are never wrong. Like, you've got everything you have in you right now that has the answers and the wisdom and the direction for any question or feeling of stuckness or wanting to feel more alive. Like, you have all your answers right now. You've got everything you need. And to me, that just feels affirming and peaceful, because I don't need to look out there for the answers. I just need to look inside. And I just love that.
Yeah, that's so true. And we were going to read a whole bunch of why questions and then alternate ones. And I don't think we're going to read them all. Let's just pick.
But to show a parallel,
absolutely,
of what a disempowering why question is, and then on the flip side, instead ask this.
Yeah. So here's a good one. We could be asking ourselves, why am I still stuck? But here's a better way to look at that. What is one choice still available to me?
Another one, why don't I know what I want? And instead you could ask yourself, what am I curious about right now?
So you see how that just like moves your brain into a more possibility
growth mindset. Totally.
Yeah.
And another one, why am I so unhappy? Instead, ask yourself, what feels missing right now?
Yeah. Like, I could just
these are all so good.
dig in and answer them, and boy, are we going to get into some amazing questions and episodes to come.
Yeah.
So that's probably all we'll talk about with that right now, because we just wanted to introduce the idea of braver questions and just, how powerful they are. So here's the thing. We're not looking to give you advice. We know with 100% surety that you have the answers for yourself. We know that. We know it because we live it. We know it because we've seen it, and we know it because I'm going to say God, the universe. We were designed that way. We didn't come here kind of
haphazardly,
limping along, hoping for whatever. But a lot of us have got off track. A lot of us have got maybe stuck in beliefs and patterns of thinking and doing that maybe we initiated at one point in time to help us, to support us, but now they're not working. And so if that's you, we'd like to help you find a new way forward. And we think good questions are one of the tools that will help you do that. And let me just say too, we've been out of our magazine Trailblazer for 7-8 months now.
Yeah.
And so we went down some rabbit holes individually and together.
Trying to find ourselves again.
Yeah. And asking better questions was key to us finding our way here today. So, yeah.
So to be able to, you need to set the stage to give yourself the opportunity to listen to an answer to a braver question. And I think you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, do you keep yourself so busy? Do you overschedule your days or your life to the point where you don't even have a moment to think to yourself? And is it because you're avoiding asking a question that you know you need to answer? And so giving yourself the space, we can't fumble through life expecting a different outcome if you don't actually give yourself the time and space to listen to your own inner wisdom. You just can't.
So true.
You can consume books, podcasts, you can consume everyone else's concepts, but until you actually give yourself the space to apply them, you're just going to be stuck. And I find that's one of the hardest things for women is declaring and claiming even
space
15 minutes a day, even 15 minutes a day. That's not at the end of the day that, you're not waiting until everyone else's needs are looked after until you can look after your own. I just find it's such a simple, but it's everything. It's absolutely everything.
Yeah. So we will be
You
exploring that. I do agree. I do agree. My mind was just thinking of some of the things I've done in the last couple months, some of the things that are new, some of the things that have been waiting for me for a long time to look at them and move into them. And for whatever reasons, I couldn't, but slowly moving into asking better questions. So I want to say too, we do not have it all figured out. We absolutely don't. We're learning. I don't know. I want to keep learning until I take my last breath. I think that's what life is for. But we want to share it with you because we see the power in what that's done for us.
Yeah. And so this is like so cheesy, but just
can't
kind of
wait to hear what you're gonna say.
consider us your guides, like on the road. Like we're walking the braver road with you, figuring this out with you. And we just want to do it alongside you because we have felt isolated in a lot of moments in our lives and businesses. And so we're here to gather with you and share as we're going through it. So
yeah. So here's a closing. A better question, a braver question can offer you a different road to walk down. You don't have to solve your life in a day. In fact, you may ask yourself a question, well, even the question we're going to dive into next, but you might ask yourself that, and it might be 2-3 weeks before something emerges. So we're not talking about, a quick and dirty way to get your life on track. We're talking about a real, honest way to hear the truth of who you are, and then to work with that in a way that works with your life right now and helps you to move forward. So, I used the word gentler earlier, and I think that's where the gentler comes in is, I think we all need to have more compassion for ourselves, more standing by ourselves. It's really easy to get disgruntled, and if you've got critical situations or people around you, it's often hard to have that compassion. So that's just really important.
Yeah.
What else would you add to it?
No, I think just approach your own life with an open heart, the same that you would other people in your life that you show up for, and show up for yourself. And we're doing all of this because we want to live this life to the max, knowing that we upturned every nook and cranny, every rock, and looked under it and said, is there potential there? What are my gifts? What am I supposed to create? What's my biggest dream? How can I experience to the biggest degree of joy and fulfillment and meaning in my life? And what do those beautiful moments look like that I want to create every day? It's the bigger questions. It's the bigger reason. We're here to do this, and we're all worthy. We're all worthy.
Yeah. So with that,
just wait before we dive into and before we reveal this week's braver question, I just want to ask you first, if you're loving the content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like it and comment it, share it with your friends. That's going to help us grow. We're doing this, not getting paid for it. We're doing it because we love it, because we have a lot of good information and conversation that we want to have with you. So help us spread the word by doing that.
Yeah.
We also have an incredible Sunday newsletter called Braver Sunday Letter. And there's a link below in the description of how you can join our weekly newsletter. So drum roll. This week's first braver question is when was the last time you felt like you? Okay, so let's just pause. Okay, yeah, we'll just jump into it.
Okay. So I kind of went down the sheet and just kind of picked that question. It's in our first set of questions, and I literally had never really thought of that before. And then I thought about it, and I felt shocked, and I felt like a deer in the headlights. And I just felt just a whole bunch of mishmash in my body at that question. I thought, what the heck?
Yeah, you had a physical reaction.
Is going on here? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I said to Erin, because it just arose within me, I think the last time I really felt like me was when I was a teenager. So I'm in my 60s. So to say that was... I just could hardly believe that came out of my mouth. And I just want to give you the briefest of explanation. So I'm a person who, and I just want to preface by saying too, I mean, I think it would be easy for anyone to say, oh yeah, my teenage years were the best and all the rest of it. But there's something about the makeup of who I am as a person that grew and flourished and kind of like spread its wings in those early years. So I had a lot of time with a good friend of mine to spend out of town with where her horses were. We rode horses all the time. We swam in the river, held on to the ferry going back and forth, did all kinds of things. I felt free, and free is still a word that I would use today. Have I felt free in a while? No, I have not. Have I felt in my body and excited and ready for anything like what's going on? No, I have not for a while. In fact, there's so many things that I see through the years that slowly eroded that from me, and it's poised me now to identify those and start bringing them back into my life. And so, I don't know, it was a good question because it made me realize that I've lived a lot of years not in sync with the truth of who I am. Responsible as a single parent at 30, so for the next 20 years raised my kids very, responsibly, and then business. Erin and I started our business back then. And so, I've definitely had great moments through the business, through all the things through the years, but to say that I really feel like me, I'll still say it goes back to my teenage years. So that was sad for me to hear that. I think I had a few tears over that because, and there may be some of you out there thinking that too, like, holy smokes, like, yeah, maybe that's me too. But the thing that I'm doing about it is I'm slowly initiating some changes that will bring back that feeling of freedom, of exuberance, of creativity, of spontaneity, of creating more things that feel worthy. And so often through the years I've just, if I create something, I better teach it because I know it now. I did that with fitness, with creative things, with leather, with everything you can think of. I have created something that I could share with other people, and I'm really just looking now to what can I create that will make me happy. So I don't know.
That was really insightful. Yeah, I mean, so we don't discuss the questions beforehand. So we picked the question, and I was really shocked at your reaction, and I thought, oh God, like that's really sad. I just felt really sad for you that it's been that long since you've really felt like you. And on the other hand, I feel like it solidifies the importance of having interests that make you feel something in the later years of our life. I feel like, we can all remember, hopefully all remember in like our teenage years, early 20s, that sense of freedom. And, it's cheesy, but it's like we were who we were before the world told us who we should be. And it's going back and remembering, who was I before all these roles and responsibilities, because we all know, like, just the natural curiosity and imagination, especially of kids, that gets drained out of them through systems and lifestyle and pressures and stress into adulthood. And it's like we kind of forget the whole point.
Yeah.
Right?
Of living.
But truly.
Like, isn't that the truth of
truly.
it? Of living. Is it just to pay the mortgage or the rent and put groceries on the table and then retire at 65 and then do some fun things?
Because
I don't think so.
Because each of us having really lost or misplaced my identity, tangled it up into the role of what it was in the magazine. And then when that ended, so much of how I have found myself again was going back to who I was in my early 20s. Even coming down to like listening to the music I used to listen to. And I've gotten back into painting. Like I transformed our whole guest room into an art studio for myself.
Yeah.
And that led me back to myself. And so I think it's important for all of us, if you're feeling like you're not really sure who you are, or like, what are your loves? What are your interests? Look behind you, because the clues are there from your past. And like, would you say that feeling like yourself is tied to the acts of carrying out your interests, like doing the things that make your heart come alive? Because like, I know for you, it's number one, like spending time with horses. It's like the freedom of a road trip, driving, music, fields, like that freedom, loud music. Would you say that your interests are a direct correlation to helping you feel more like who you are?
I would say yes, partly, because I think if you can get involved in something where you lose track of time, and I do with horses, I do with many different things. But I think that there's also, and this, I'm just channeling this right now, so I have no idea what's coming out of my mouth. But I think that there's also an essence of how we see ourselves in the world. Do we speak up? Do we speak up about injustices or things that we disagree with?
Or stand up for yourself.
Or stand up for ourselves. Express ourselves. Who am I? What unique perspective do I have to share? So I think it's a combination of things, and I think that we just can drop them in lieu of other things that just are requiring our immediate attention, whether that be paying the bills or doing the work or whatever that is.
I totally agree. It's like we ourselves are always the first to drop away in trying to survive, whether that's a stressful lifestyle, like overscheduled life with kids. Like we are always the first to drop away. And I think we can only survive so long with having put ourselves last, that our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our souls will finally scream and say, I can't do this anymore. You are completely out of alignment. And the tap on the shoulder comes, and it's our chance to listen and to get back to her again.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that question, and like, that was really big. That revealed a
It
lot
was really
for you.
big.
And it showed you where there's opportunity for growth, right? For reconnection with yourself.
Yes. And again, I mean, 50 years later or whatever, how many years later, I don't know how many it is. It's the opportunity to get the feeling maybe through some different activities, maybe that, who says I have to go back and be like I was when I was a teenager, but what is the essence of that, and how does that just bring me, for example, back in my teenage years, I was a gymnast, and I was also a competitive figure skater. So bottom line is I was physically active. I was really in tune with my body. Through the years with the magazine, sitting every day, 7-8 hours a day, and just letting my body be, has created some strength and mobility things that I am now rebuilding through deep water workouts in the pool. I never would have thought in a million years that I would take that, enjoy that, but it's going to give me back that feeling that I need in my body of wellness and ease and all the rest of it. So that's what I'd say to you with the question is, how can you start building some things back in? Maybe they're completely new to you now. You never even thought of doing them, and wouldn't that be great? Your curiosity gets inspired by something that you never thought of doing before, but that gives you that same feeling. So that's the thing we're asking is, when was the last time you felt like you, like really like you, And what small step could you take towards it? So
I'm going to answer the question too.
okay.
I felt happy when I thought of that question, because I feel like I sacrificed my own well-being and mental health for many years with the magazine and the demands and the workload, and just after total burnout. The last year, I've been gifted with so many amazing experiences that have offered me stillness and an opportunity to ask myself the harder questions and to reconnect with like the loves of my life. Like, what do I love doing? Just for the sake of doing it, not because I'm good at it or that I need to produce something beautiful. So yeah, I feel like I am the most me now than I ever have. And especially because the last year for me, I'm 45, been going through like the throes of perimenopause, the ups and downs and like the mental health aspect of that have been really hard for me. And there's been times where I remember saying to my Aunt Lori, being like, I'm afraid I'm never going to feel like myself again. And these phases that come and go with perimenopause, I've found they never actually last forever, although they do feel like they are going to be forever in the moment, but they never actually do. And so I feel great. I feel really good. I feel connected to who I am. And I also feel strong in my boundaries, in saying yes or no to the things that are going to contribute to my life or take away from my life. And I don't know, there's something about mid-40s that just, you know, I know I'm not your age, and I know you look at me and be like, oh, you're so young, but you know what, there's a shift that happens.
You are though.
I know, but there's also a rite of passage or a shift that happens in our mid-40s or in our 40s in general that remind us, you know, we don't have forever.
What's going on?
Yeah, just we don't have forever. And I want my life to reflect and be a creation of all that I am. And it's not about them out there. It's about me. And so I think that's an important question to ask ourselves, is when was the last time I actually felt like me? And explore what comes to you, because that could be the answer that cracks you open to pursue something that maybe you've been afraid to pursue, or to let something go that you've been afraid to let go. So that's a really powerful, braver question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's our first episode.
Welcome. So glad if you made it to the end. And we totally forgot to introduce ourselves. I'm Erin.
And I'm Jan. I'm the mom. Of course, you figured that out by now. And we've just loved sharing this.
We hope you enjoyed it. And we can't wait to come back for episode 2. We've got a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah.